Good job, Washington Post. You just gave Comicsgate legitimacy, put them in the mainstream. This is actually a really great article for Comicsgate. I don't think they understand what they're doing when they do this kind of stuff. This is exactly how President Trump got all this attention when he was running, because they would constantly make articles about him all the time, and they still do. I don't think they understand that they're helping Comicsgate by doing this, but hey, you know, my hat's off to you. So this article says the Comicsgate movement isn't defending free speech, it's suppressing it. Alright, let's go check out and see why they're saying this. As with Gamergate, the voices they seek to silence are often those of women and minorities. There's the two buzzwords there for you. It's already off to a great start, this article. It's by Noah Berlatsky. This little guy here, he's like, you know, giving you the evil smile. I'm not going to read this whole thing because it is quite a lengthy article. It seemed like old Noah was saving this up for a while. Finally got to let it all out. I'll go through a couple things that I found interesting in it. First of all, I'll preface this by saying again, if you didn't see my first Comicsgate video, I talk about what Comicsgate is, how long I've been following it. I've been following for like 6 months now. I've been listening to most of their live streams, so I feel like I know enough about these guys and ladies to give you an informed decision about Comicsgate. In 2016, the comics writer Chelsea Kane found herself drowning in abusive tweets. She'd made the mistake of penning an issue of Marvel's Mockingbird series that featured an image of its heroine wearing a t-shirt saying, "Ask me about my feminist agenda." In the words in which one representative attack puts it, "She was ruining my favorite character with your feminist crap." As many others have in similar circumstances, Kane temporarily deleted her account. What account? Twitter account? Kane's experience was one of the most important precursors of Comicsgate, the latest in reactionary movements and harassment campaigns centered on nerd fandoms. Alright, let's talk about this first point that he makes. Kicks off this article with Chelsea Kane. First of all, she's working for a huge company like Marvel, okay? She's making a product that people buy, that people love, that they collect, their fans. She puts her feminist agenda in, a product that people buy and that are fans of, and of course you're going to get backlash about that, You're representing a company and a product. So they're saying that she was bullied offline. This line right here, ruining my favorite character with your feminist crap, I wouldn't say that's harassment. That's just saying, hey, knock that crap off. Again, if you didn't see my last Comicsgate video, if I say the word SJW, it doesn't mean if you're a leftist or if you voted for Obama or if you're, a Democrat, that you're an SJW. SJWs hate free speech. They're against anybody that comes out and says anything differently than they believe. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Everybody's welcome at the Gothic Arts channel. These SJWs like to put a woman out and say that she was harassed and bullied offline if they don't like what fans are saying or what people are saying about them. They did this in Star Wars with Kelly Marie Tran. They said she was bullied offline because people didn't like Rose Tico and they were calling her all these names. First of all, I don't know anybody that would ever harass and bully somebody offline. I would never talk to somebody like that. I wouldn't tolerate that. Like Gamergate in games and the sad puppies in literary science fiction, Comicsgate claims to be fighting against censorship and the politicized groupthink of the leftist social justice warriors, SJWs. So his definition of SJW is anti-racist, anti-feminist, and anti-marginalized people whom the right characterizes as oppressors. It's an interesting definition. But again, like those other movements, Comicsgate participants in fact work to silence opinions they dislike and voices they deem malignant. That's not true. That's not true at all. Comicsgate participants are working to make comic books and sell them. It's not trying to silence opinions. In fact, there's all kinds of opinions within Comicsgate. If we can untwist this sentence, the SJWs are the one that that work day and night. I see it on Twitter. You can see it for yourself. They work day and night to silence other people and to harass. And they're very angry people on Twitter, too. The left is often accused of intolerance and antipathy to the First Amendment. Yes, they are. The most serious new threat to free speech, however, is the use of free speech as a cover for an ongoing online assault. Oh, jeez. I would also like to see some of this evidence, too, of Comicsgaters or anyone that's not a freaking troll calling people fake geek girls. Among those joining in the attacks was Richard C. Meyer, who uses his ironic Twitter and YouTube handle Diversity in Comics. Diversity in Comics is a YouTuber. He gives his opinion. Maybe a little too mean sometimes, but it's his right to free speech. This entire article is about free speech, right? It's about we have to defend free speech from Comicsgate. Meyer became a ringleader of Comicsgate. There's no leaders of Comicsgate. If you listen to any of the live streams, they say that over and over again. There's famous people of Comicsgate, which rallied around the argument that female people of color. I hate the term people of color. It's so racist and freaking 60s. People of color and LGBT characters and creators were ruining comic books because they are. Not because they're female, people of color, and LGBT, but because they're turning these longtime characters into females, people of color, and LGBT people instead of making new, superheroes and characters. And people are upset about that. Comic skaters and their sympathizers generally... What is this? Like a military organization or something? Sympathizers? They're wording it like we're freaking North Korea or something. Generally frame these attacks on industry professionals as brave, contrarian fight against stifling conformity. So they're saying that comic skaters and sympathizers are attacking industry professionals. Oh yeah, like that time when a comic skater sent an industry professional a picture of his asshole. Yeah, I remember. Oh wait, no, that was the other way around. That's right. The idea that people are being censored because they face criticism or because in work for hire settings, their bosses or collaborators aren't happy with their work. No, they're not happy with their politics, not their work. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But it's a staple claim of right-wing nerd harassment. Now we're in right-wing nerd harassers. I guess that's going to be a new term like alt-right. And it's used to justify extreme claims about left-wing totalitarianism. The X-Men artist John Malin compared progressives to Hitler. I guess if you consider progressives to be people who are obsessed with their politics and want everybody to think like them and be like them or else not exist, then yeah, I guess progressives could be considered like Hitler. Reactionaries claim that the left is preventing them from saying all the sexual, important, and insightful things they want to say. But right-wing nerd harassment campaigns themselves are aimed at policing and shutting down certain speech and certain speakers. That's not true at all. These SJWs that write articles like this always... I don't know what they're doing. They're self-projecting because they say the exact freaking opposite of what the truth is. This entire article is being aimed at policing and shutting down the people of Comicsgate. Daryl Ayo, an indie comic creator and critic, told me about one instance in which Comicsgate targeted him for speaking out. What did he say? Ayo had criticized Malin's claims that SJWs were Nazis. That night, after midnight, popular comics penciler, outspoken right-winger, and Comicsgate leader, he's not the leader of Comicsgate, he said that numerous times. Ethan Van Sciver challenged him to appear on his podcast to debate Malin. Daryl, come on my show right now and say what you have to say. Van Sciver tweeted. Ayo didn't know Van Sciver and refused the offer. Van Sciver continued to demand that he appear. A lot of this is hearsay. This is all hearsay. For anyone who uses Twitter, the result was predictably months of insults and harassment. Well, Comicsgate doesn't condone harassment or insults, and they'll say that on the show. Van Sciver framed himself as a proponent of debate and a healthy exchange of ideas, but in fact he was demanding that Ayo deferentially follow his orders in the middle of the night or be labeled as unreasonable and justifiable target for abuse. Did he say that? Please show me the clip where he said, "Oh, my followers, go out and target him for abuse him. Send tweets. Now, go! Caesar spoken." No, that didn't happen. Van Sciver wasn't able to orchestrate enough abuse to force Ayo offline. Oh, he failed in his evil plan to force Ayo offline. I'm not going to sit here and, justify every single action that every single comic skater has ever done in their entire lives. I will say that everything that I've seen people from Comicsgate put online or say in their live streams or in their videos, it doesn't have anything to do with any of this stuff that this guy's talking about. Oh my god! But other reactionary nerd campaigns have had greater success in terrorizing their targets. Now Ethan Van Sciver's a terrorist. Cool. I've seen terrorists. They don't look like Ethan Van Sciver, okay? Gamergate motivated like Comicsgate by the existence of women in nerd spaces. Sent so many death threats to feminist games critics. Oh my god, dude. Listen, go check out Comicsgate for yourself. I'm gonna link some of these YouTube channels down below. You can look at it for yourself. It has nothing to do with terrorizing people. This guy's acting like a victim, like a lot of SJWs do. They love to act like a victim. This sort of harassment was not an isolated incident. Milo Yiannopoulos, a Gamergate leader. Milo Yiannopoulos has nothing to do with Comicsgate. Milo Yiannopoulos, a Gamergate leader who wrote for the reactionary website Breitbart, orchestrated a campaign of harassment against Leslie Jones for appearing in the all-female Ghostbusters reboot. I was following that. I don't remember Milo orchestrating anything, any kind of harassment campaign. I do remember him saying something about her, making a mean comment. It was a mean comment. He never orchestrated a campaign of harassment. Oh, here we go. Here's the Star Wars. Even without him, though, a campaign of abuse in the same mold was launched against Kelly Marie Tran of Star Wars. Reactionary fans. Why is everything reactionary to this guy? Reactionary fans were angry that the movies had cast an actor who wasn't white and male. That's bullshit. Real Star Wars fans, like me, weren't angry about Kelly Marie Tran being cast. They weren't angry about Kelly Marie Tran. They never harassed Kelly Marie Tran. They said they hated the character Rose Tico. They hated The Last Jedi movie. The whole movie was a freaking dumpster fire. Their goal has been to make comics less welcoming to people who aren't white and male, and they succeeded. So he mentioned white males twice in this article. Have you seen one live stream, bro? There's men and women and all kinds of people in Comicsgate. These people are insane with their politics. They're nuts. The right wing in our era has wrapped itself in the mantle of the First Amendment. Yes, because we like our free speech. I consider myself, a conservative, and I'm a Christian. I'm not a far-right winger, one of these freaking weird alt-right people. I myself would like to keep my free speech. I don't want to be kicked off YouTube, and I don't want to be kicked off Twitter like some other people have in the recent past. Alright, I'm not going to read any more of this crap. If you want to read it again, I'll link it down below, and I'm also going to link some of these guys' channels. You can check that out. So again, yeah, this is actually really great for Comicsgate. This is going to bring so many new people into this movement. People that haven't read a comic book since the 90s are going to come. All different kinds of diverse people. I can't wait. We love our diverse people. You know what? I think I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm Comicsgate. I'm the leader of Comicsgate, and you can be too. I just wanted to make you aware of that, let you know what was going on with this article. At least it gave us a good laugh, Don't forget to subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you next time.